Googler.
And I'm Fox.
And this is a neat little Metroidvania called Momodora Reverie Under the Moonlight. It
As you can clearly see on the screen right
yes,
now.
as because I expect everyone to be able to read Korean. So the category we're going to be running for this is any percent, like most speedruns, but there's going to be a little bit of a caveat here. And before I explain what that is, I'm going to go ahead and say that for every death, I'm going to be donating $1. Now, hopefully, that stays a little low, but it can always get a little spicy. Anyway, I'm ready to go whenever timer is, so we'll be starting on go. 3, 2, 1, go. So whenever my health bar appears, you'll see what that little caveat is. It starts with a, 19-second unskippable cutscene?
Yeah, pretty much. And yeah, it is true. It's a little caveat. It's a very small one.
Very small caveat.
A little speck.
So throughout the entire run, I'm going to be running with 1 HP. So literally everything will kill me.
Yeah. Insane is a very unforgiving category, and this first area of the game, the Grove, is especially unforgiving because the imps, they are pretty random in what they decide to do. So just getting through this area can be hard enough normally in a regular speedrun, and then you add on the health you have on Insane and it becomes even worse.
Few rooms also have additional enemies on Insane.
Yes. So we have the enemy placement of the hard difficulty, but with significantly less health.
Yeah. Which makes for a very exciting category, or difficulty in my opinion, but
yeah,
not a lot of people agree.
It's the only real category, am I right?
Yeah.
I haven't gotten my feet wet with it, but I will soon. I'm curious to test it.
It's an adventure.
Yeah, I know. It's gonna be a grind fest for the first few times learning it.
Yeah. So in this first area of the Grove, there are two main goals. The first one is to get through the area, of course, and the second one is to get 80 money, which you can see beneath the health bar, if you even can call it a bar. Because yeah, we will be buying an item after this area is completed. And this room in particular can be really nasty with what that one decides to do. So yeah, resetting that room to get the good imp behavior is actually a very smart idea in a
taking things a little bit safer given the marathon setting. But
yeah, that is a very smart idea. Seeing as these imps, they have mostly been good actually, except for that initial death.
There we go.
Other than that, these imps have been pretty good.
It's a pretty good grove, honestly, all things considered.
Yeah, and we're coming up on the final boss, and I assume you will be trying to do the quick kill?
Yeah, I'm gonna try it at least once. Hopefully it won't kill me.
There is a trick where in this game you have a bow and you can charge your arrows. So if you release your arrows on a specific attack, there is a small window of time where you can one-shot her. It seems like it was a miss this time, but even if you miss it, you have a chance, or you usually do quite a nice bit of damage, which speeds up the boss quite a bit. And one exciting thing about this game is that if you defeat a boss without taking a hit, then you get a special boss item. These boss items are usually very powerful and speed up future boss fights. And the first one we get is Edia's Pearl, which adds poison properties to your arrows.
Oh, I don't have one. I didn't notice that I didn't have the money. I'm so used to having it. Oopsie daisy. Let me go grab that.
Yeah, so that is where we wanted the 80 money to buy the crystal seed, which is an item that you a consumable item that increases your damage by 50% for a short time. In this game there are active items and passive items. Passive items, they work whenever you have them equipped, and you can have 2 equipped at the same time. You can have 3 active items equipped at the same time, and they refresh their charges every time you save at a bell. So they are not completely consumable, you just have to refresh them whenever you save the game.
Ooh.
Yeah, this is another one of those spots where I'm expecting between the Grove here and then Lupiar is where I'm expecting to die the most.
Yeah, this area is especially tricky. So rolling in this game is faster than moving normally, and also when you roll, you can roll through enemies to dodge them, and you also have invincibility frames, which gives you some very good mobility and allows you to avoid enemies. And there is a neat little trick where you can roll and jump on the same frame, which is a roll jump, but it's a frame perfect input, and it can be very tricky to perform.
Right.
And sometimes it's the best option, and if you're not very consistent with it, then it can lead to a few deaths. And we are now entering the second boss fight, which is a 2-part boss fight against Mocha first, and then when Mocha reaches around 70% health, it will transition to part 2 against Lubella. Mocha is a small bully.
Very small bully.
But he got bullied instead this time. He likes to jump around randomly. And Lubella can do a thing where she dives off screen, but hopefully we won't see that today.
Hopefully.
Yeah. But knowing my luck, I have probably cursed it.
Yeah. That does seem to be your thing when you do commentary.
There we go. That was alright.
Yeah. Actually, you didn't curse him.
We went well.
Yeah.
How about that?
Ah, good job. Good job.
Good job. Thanks, Drum.
And then, yeah, the next active item we get is the Bachman patch, which will spawn a lot of Bachman blocks from the top of the screen. Each block does like half a damage or something. It's very little damage, but there is a lot of them, so the damage adds up, and it is very nice. So this area, this next area we're going to, the subterranean graves, is actually very scary on Insane. Because whenever you are on the edge of the screen, bats spawn on the opposite edge of the screen.
Right.
And they behave pretty much like Medusa heads from Castlevania.
Now,
And with the 1 health of Insane, that is very scary because they're...
Yeah, they just hit you and you're gone.
Yeah, and they spawn on the opposite end of the opposite edge of the screen, but at a random height. So if you play this game enough, you will learn when they're supposed to appear,
Right.
but you do not know at what height. So you have to adapt to that, and sometimes they can be in your way and kill you.
Now,
So it's very scary.
when Half ran this at SGDQ, he took a different save that I'm not going to take because I'm feeling riskier, and because there's another save right here.
Oh, yeah,
The one by the
agility save is good.
Yeah.
Very good.
I never actually thought about taking that save.
Yeah, I used to.
Before going down that tunnel?
Yeah.
That's actually a really good idea.
Yeah, especially since this path we're going to right now has a lot of spikes, and spikes one-shot you.
Yeah, on any
difficulty. Not only on Insane. So this area, all things considered, is actually a lot smoother than most of the other parts of the subterranean graves.
Honestly, because
yeah,
everyone
it's
dies here.
pretty much the same as the other difficulties. It's oh yeah, so this area features some underwater mechanics where you can like infinitely swim, but you are generally slower while underwater, so you want to try to roll as much as possible because your roll is still very fast.
Yeah, because
compared to running.
When you roll underwater, obviously you would still roll as fast. Obviously, that only makes sense.
Yeah. Definitely. And you don't have any breath meter, so you can stay underwater for as long as you'd like.
And I'm gonna take a safety save here, because I don't trust my Frida.
Yeah, Frida, or also known as Dumb Drinking Bird, is the next boss we're going to fight. Are you going to do the advanced strats with melee hits, or are you going to do the safe strats by sitting in a corner?
If she spawns dogs, then I will revert to safe, but start off advanced.
That's a good strategy, because this boss here, you can either go in and melee her and do melee attacks and avoid her attacks that she does, or you can sit in the far right corner and just spam arrows, which is completely safe and she won't reach you, basically. But if she has one attack where she spawns dogs to help her, and that's the hardest attack to deal with when in melee, so trying to do that is very difficult. So
That went really well.
Nice.
Yeah, that was a pretty nice Frida.
Yeah, that was a very cooperative drinking bird today.
Yeah.
She was nice to us.
Not dumb. Smart drinking bird.
There you go. She deserves praise for that fight.
Yeah, so now we have one more active item, the Sparse Thread, which just causes a small but deadly magical explosion around you. And then we also have the first Karst Crest Fragment, which allows us to charge our bow arrows, faster.
As opposed to the leaf arrows that we obviously have.
Yeah, exactly.
We shoot bows firing arrows.
Yeah, bow arrows. That
like
sounds like a weapon from the Gungeon.
Yeah, so that's what I was just about to say. The bullet gun or whatever.
Yeah, and then there's the shell, which is the same but for shotguns.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now we are in the next area, which is the White Leaf Memorial Park. And here we will revisit a familiar boss very shortly.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I've never seen this boss before in my entire life.
Well, let's hope that the pool guards have put up the no diving sign, and that the refight against Libella will respect that.
Nah, she didn't care. That's alright.
Instant dive. That is very rough, because not only do you lose damage while she's off screen, you also lose damage because not all of the back blocks will hit her. So you lose more than 12 seconds when that happens.
Oh my gosh, okay, that's fine. I didn't want my crystal seed anyway, Lubella.
And there we have a second dive. That is very unfortunate, but this fight is very scary actually. It's a harder version of the earlier Lubella fight, and when you're playing on Insane, it actually gets very rough. So
when she died in the middle of that attack, it gave me a heart attack because I thought she hit me.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
That's a good. Yeah, that was a pretty good fight. Yeah, Lubella dove too much. Lubella dives twice. And now we reach the best part of the game, where you are turned into a cat. As a cat, you are smaller, you jump higher, you are faster, but most importantly, you are cuter.
Yes.
This will, being a cat, will allow us to reach some new areas, because this is a Metroidvania. This is not basically a Metroidvania. This is a Metroidvania. So we will need some power-ups in order to progress at certain points, and this is one of them. But as a cat, because you don't have opposable thumbs, you can't use your bow and bow arrows, and you can't use items except the cat sphere, which allows you to
transform back.
Transform between human form and cat form, and you can't climb ladders.
Right.
So you have to transform to human form to do that.
Yeah.
And also, the refight against Lubella has a boss item, but it is useless in the speedrun because it only heals you when you kill enemies.
It's especially useless on Insane.
Yeah, doubly useless on Insane because you have 1 health. So if you get hit, you die anyway. So right now we're going to take a small detour in order to visit a bell, a save point. That is because when we see that bell, like the screen that it is on, it will be marked as visited in the game's memory. And the next crest fragment we're going to get will allow us to warp to save points.
Right.
Or there are specific save points you can warp to, and this happens to be one of them. And this saves a ton of backtracking time.
Right. Also, something to note is, as Cat, you notice while I was human, I did regular rolling, but unless I had to jump. But as Cat, at the end of our rolls, we have a long sort of cooldown animation before we can roll again. So in order to make the most of our speed from rolling, instead we'll be doing roll jumps and then attack canceling the end of the animation. Which means it's going to be frame perfect input city for the rest of this run.
Yeah. But it's not as bad as it sounds, because when you are a cat, most of the roll jumps are completely safe to mess up.
Right.
So it makes for some good practice just to try out roll jumping if you're starting out learning the run or just want to get some practice. So the story of this game is basically there is a corruption is spreading throughout the land, and you are going to find out what's causing it.
My thumb was a little too high on my D-pad. I didn't mean to talk to her. Go away.
No, this is fine. This is part of one.
Aw, she's so sad.
I'm sorry for her loss, but I super don't care right now.
We're trying to go fast and get back to your problems.
Yeah, we got places to be.
Okay, so I'm gonna try the death pit here once, and if I die, I'll just do it safe.
Oh yeah. Yeah, this next area we're going to get the second Karst crest fragment. Has a room which is basically a pit full of imps. Well, there's 3 of them, and they are rude.
Then a tomato for good measure. Okay, we got it. Oh, nope, I fell back down. Never mind, we didn't get it. My bad. I thought I landed on the wood. That's alright. We'll just Bachman patch this time to do it nice and safe.
Yeah, Bachman patch is very safe. This room is basically an auto-scroller, because at the end of it you have to wait for a platform cycle.
Yeah.
You can't catch an early cycle here, so you just have to make sure to be at the end in a bit, so...
Yeah, at least
those imps were a little smart.
They saw the danger and went running.
They followed the teachings of Obi-Wan and took the high ground.
Exactly.
It's a tried and true method, so I don't blame them.
Yeah.
And now we have the second Karst crest fragment that allows us to warp between... I was about to say bonfires, and now I just said it. So it's basically what they are.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah. It'd be silly to think otherwise.
Yeah, so now we're going to go to the third crest fragment. So yeah, to continue on with the story, in order to find out what is causing the corruption, we have to reach Karst Castle. To get to Karst Castle, we have to find the 4 Karst crest fragments, because there is a barrier blocking the way. And yeah, that's what we're going around doing right now. Getting these fragments.
Right.
So this area is the Cinder Chambers. It has some spooky enemies, but it's generally fine to get through. Except this final gauntlet here before the boss can be very rough, because there are a lot of enemies here on Insane.
Oopsie, I did not mean to do that. I meant to roll there. It's okay, we don't need both our patches.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the next fight is against the Heretical Arsonist, which is it's a very difficult fight. Because it has a lot. Arsonist has a lot of health, so there are a lot of things that can go wrong in this fight. And yeah, she has a few different attacks that can be very annoying to deal with. But you do have some help in the form of Kath, the female knight in the
very large air quotes. Help.
She does help you with some damage, but sometimes she can stagger Arsonist in places you don't want Arsonist to be staggered, so you have to keep an eye on that. And if you are unfortunate, you can trap yourself in a corner. But this fight went well this time, so that's good.
Yeah.
And with a very good ending position, because after the fight is over, you want to go to the right. So the closer you are to the right of the screen, the more time you save after the fight is over. And now we have the Pocket Incensory, which adds a fire effect to all of our attacks. It works on the melee attacks, it works on your arrows, but most importantly, it works on your Bachman patch, which
Yes.
I think it triples or quadruples the Bachman patch damage, which turns it from pretty good damage to
Insane
absolute
damage.
boss melter.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, you basically turn bosses into characters playing on insane difficulty with only 1 health. And we also have the third crest fragment, which allows us to
Oh yeah, to air dash.
dash in the air.
I'm
Yeah.
so used to it. But yeah, so that's dashing as a cat is really, really fast.
Yeah.
As you can probably tell. Well, if I stop messing it up. But so now instead of just doing roll jumps, what we're going to be doing is roll jumping and then either attack canceling or just directly canceling with the dash into, well, the dash.
That makes for some pretty fast movement now. And it's here. So we now grab the monastery key
Yep.
and are now going to the fourth and final karst crest fragment, which is guarded by one of the best boss fights in the game against Pardoner Fennel.
So
Or casually, it's one of the best boss fights in the speedrun.
Yeah.
As you are probably seeing right now, it's
it's a bit
basically
easier.
over.
It's already a done deal. Wrap it up.
Yeah.
Casually, she's excellent, but speedrun wise, we just unload all of our items on her and she dies.
Yeah, sadly she falls victim to the now we have all our items card, I suppose, and it's the first.
Scenario.
Yeah, and it's the first one we can test out our new toys on, so it's not fun to be Pardoner Fennel. Let's put it like that.
Poor girl.
Oh yeah, and Pardoner Fennel drops the Tainted Missive item, which is basically an upgraded Crystal Seed. Crystal Seed increased your damage by 50%, Tainted Missive increases your damage by 100%, but it comes at the cost of a quarter of your health each time you use it.
Now the cool
Which
thing
you would-
about Insane is that we already have 1 health, so it just drops us down to 0.75, and we're good.
Yeah, so damage is tracked more accurately than like
Then
like
integers.
integers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is fine to use it in Insane. You don't need to pick up health upgrades. There are a lot of them in the game. I don't know exactly how many. I should know because I run
You
a
run
category
Avid,
where you
don't
need to
you?
collect them all. Yes, I run a category where you have to collect all the vitality fragments, but I do not know how many there are. I only know where. they are.
Where they are. Uh-oh.
Yeah, I can't remember the total either.
Yeah, it's easier with ivory bugs because it has a built-in counter and there are 20 of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, now we grabbed an item called the Sealed Wind, which will be used to unlock this true ending of the game and also upgrade our melee weapon.
Yeah.
We require the true ending of the game because the normal ending or the bad ending is it doesn't have a credit screen. So since the game doesn't really consider itself beaten, we don't consider it beaten either. So
So
true ending it is.
we're coming up on a boss, and now my estimate is 32 minutes. No, without this boss, it would have just been 30 minutes. But because this can be the biggest RNG fiesta, I decided we better be safe.
Yeah. Yeah, this next boss fight against Lupiar and Magnolia is rough because the first part of the fight against Lupiar can also decide to roll as the player character can. And if she avoids your attacks, then it's very rough
Cool.
because
So she behaves.
she's immune to arrows, and killing her without in melee without arrows is very difficult because you can't reliably stagger her. But that strat went well, which is very good.
Yeah. She behaved and only rolled once, which is very
Yeah.
rare for me.
It's definitely gone very well, I would say.
Yeah, this has been a pretty good run so far, honestly.
Despite Lubella too, but
Yeah.
despite Lubella too, it's been going really nice.
Yeah, there's some minor mistakes. Like in an insane run, deaths usually happen. It's not the norm that a insane run goes deathless, and especially not in a marathon setting like this.
Right. I think I'm at 3 deaths?
Yes, I believe so. 1 in the grove.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 deaths, that's a very good death count.
So I got a quick question for you here, sir. We did reach the incentive.
Oh, excellent. I have a save for that to do after the boss fight, or the last boss fight, which we can go and do.
All right. That is something to look forward to after this run.
Yeah, so my incentive for this run was the boss fight against the extra boss in this game. So in any percent, we don't fight her, obviously, because she's optional. But in AVIB, they do. So I have a save where it's basically an AVIB save, but with only 1 health, because the cowards that run AVIB... I'm kidding. No, the people that run AVIB go there with significantly more health. That's not the right item. There we go.
Yeah, so what we're doing right now is using the sealed wind to open the secret area and bathing our leaf in tea, and that upgrades it from a red leaf to a green leaf, and increases its cleansing powers.
Yeah, and something that we did miss out on is that back at that previous save, you might have saw that I did the Bachman patch at the wall, and that's because we're supposed to go all around and hit a shortcut, that's the right word, to reveal this ladder, but because the lever is off screen and the Bachman patch can still hit things off screen, we don't have to do any of that.
It's a very convenient item to use there.
One of the few points in the game where, it's like a segment break.
Yeah.
Is you probably have noticed as watching the run, there isn't much glitches at all, really. It's very grounded.
Aside from the Edia quick kill, I'd say that this is a completely glitchless run, more or less.
Yeah. So now we are in the final area of the game. We have upgraded our leaf so that we can get the true ending. We have access to the castle, obviously. So now all that is left is to get an audience with the queen and find out what is causing the corruption to spread throughout the lands. But first we have a small stop against a mini-boss, against what we call the clone angel.
She's a little
she
easy.
spawns clones of herself, and you have to find which one is the real one. And you can do that by whichever hovers closest to the ground, which is a small oversight.
Yeah, so I'd love to say that I've just have god tier luck and always hit the right one, but no, because of a small oversight with, I think it was Game Makers what RDN made this with. Oops, yeah, that's not the right item. There we go. The clone that we need to hit is always floating closest to the ground, so that way we know who to hit each time.
And it's actually not an angel, it's supposed to be a vampire. Yeah,
we learned that not too long ago.
Angel because it has stuck with us.
Yeah, it's already been long established. Honestly, how can you see a vampire in it? Yeah, that's all I'll say. That's my take.
So a little dirty little secret I have is that I still haven't learned the fastest and safest way to do this fight. So I might die at this intro a lot. Okay, there's one. So I do a much, much tighter strategy on this boss because I've been too stubborn to learn the actual fast strat called Threadless, where essentially I have to maximize as much damage as I can do on her before she goes away. Using the sparse thread, usually we have a much bigger window to do that. But I don't, because I'm stubborn.
Yeah, I still consider the fastest queen strats to be new queen strats.
Yeah.
And I also consider there is a new new strat
There's
for
a
Fennel
new-
as well, where you only use one Bachman patch. That I consider that to be a new strat as well.
Is that the one that Googler does?
I believe you do it. Yeah.
I think Hale also does it.
Ah.
But now that I think about it, yeah, those strats we did find a long time ago. It does feel like it's recent.
The threadless?
Or
the
new Fennel on threadless.
Oh.
This is the 5th attempt now, right? On Queen.
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, trying to keep a death count. So we should be up to 7 deaths right now.
Maybe? Dang it. Oh, this close. Oh. And this is what... Usually it doesn't take me that often, but I don't know. I'm feeling like giving the queen a winning shot here.
Yeah, the threadless strat that you're trying to do, it's a very tight window to
God dang it.
to be able to pull it off.
Yeah.
Or you're secretly making sure to.
I am,
get
yeah.
a good
There's
sum of
some money.
before the run.
There we go.
What a nice guy.
Luckily, I should still be well underestimate, because I doubt it will take that long to get this.
You never know with this category.
Thought that one was it. Dang it. I felt it.
One of them will be it.
One of them will be it. This is a good time to read a donation if you'd like.
Do we have a donation?
Do we?
I'm not sure.
Okay. How are you guys doing today?
I am doing well. Well,
Just fine.
It's also not really required to do the strat here.
That's true, yeah.
But it just
If it goes poorly enough, I might... Well... Guess we're, There we go. That works.
Which moving?
Yeah, so the queen boss fight is a little bit unique because she always opens up with the same attacks. So if you do it optimally, you will always be able to do it the same way, which is very convenient.
What killed me there? Hold on, I'm gonna take this a bit safer. I'm not sure what killed me there.
I'm not sure either what killed it. That was
weird.
odd.
There's like a slightly visible, like it was another one of those spinning things in the corner, like slightly visible. I don't know if that's supposed to. I've never noticed that until.
Huh. Well, it's rude. It killed me.
Yeah, so the queen is a 3-phase boss fight. If you do not have the leaf upgraded for the true end, then it's only 2 phases and then it ends.
I'm gonna be a little careful.
Gives you a very not satisfying ending. But if you have upgraded your leaf, you will reach the 3rd phase, which is actually the easiest phase if you have Tainted Missive and 2 Bachman patches, like we do. Because she will always start with the same attack, and before that attack is over, Queen will be dead.
Perfect. So time
Nice.
there.
GG.
Yeah,
GG.
a little overestimate, but since we did hit that incentive, I'm gonna go ahead and restart the game here. And
Let's get that choir fight going.
Yeah, we're gonna fight Choir. Now, I have never ran AVIB, so I had to, for this marathon, basically learn the fight. Now, luckily, because I've been playing this game long enough, I'm familiar enough with how things work to get the fight. And I think I have it down. We'll find out. I'm pretty sure it's...
Yeah, we'll find. 12 deaths so far.
Alrighty.
It's good that someone in chat is keeping count at least. Because I forgot to do it.
I wasn't thinking about it either, honestly.
I thought it was around 12, but not exactly, so... So this is good.
So far, so good. Oh shoot! It's some Matrix stuff. Oh my... Dude!
You're making this out cooler than it is.
God.
And that's choir.
Nice job, dude. I didn't even... Oh my god. I didn't even know you could crouch under them.
Yeah.
At a certain distance.
I think it's slightly random in like what pattern they come. So sometimes you can dodge, you can crouch under them, and sometimes not.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot to.
That only adds to it then.
Yeah.
What the heck?
I know for the second or third, phase of choir, the little bubbles are shaky, so you have to roll through them. But for the second phase, you can always duck at them if you're far enough away. But that was Momodora Reverie Under the Moonlight. I suppose I'm donating $12 now. Yeah, I think that's it for me. Y'all have a great rest of the marathon.
Ditto. I'm glad to have commentated, doing my little pieces.
Thank you.
And that was a very fun choir fight to watch. I didn't see that comment. I learned something today with that. So.
Well, I'm glad to have taught you.
That's how it is with Momodora. You learn something new every day, basically.
I really do. I know less than I'm sure people think I do.
Alrighty. Yeah. So we're good to go now.
All right. Have a good one, everybody.
See you guys.